Welcome to T4G Sports. Today we're going to talk about how we believe the Big Ten and SEC will merge in the future. We'd love to hear your guys' opinions on it after you guys heard our reasons for this in the comments below. And if you guys liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, click the notification bell, and make sure to be great today. Don't worry about being great yesterday because it's too far in the past, or being great tomorrow because it's too far in the future. Be great today. What can you change right now to make yourself better? Now, these are our reasons as to why the Big Ten and SEC will merge. The contracts grow. The Big Ten signed a 7-year deal worth over $1 billion a year that each of its members will share equally. As with the SEC, they signed a 10-year deal for over $700 million per year that each of its members will share equally. The CFP will also be paying the Big Ten and SEC more than the other conferences because those two will have more teams in the playoff. They are the two alpha conferences in college football, and nothing can change that. To put it simply, the amount of money the Big Ten and SEC are making makes their competition non-competitive. We got to ask ourselves what will make even more money in the future. Thinking about the present is the easy part. But what about the future? Ask yourself, what would make more money than two super conferences? The answer is one super conference. The NFL and USFL could tell you all about it. The NFL and USFL were competitors of the same sport, much like the Big Ten and SEC. And the NFL and USFL had the same issues as the Big Ten and SEC. They split the talent with each other, and they also split the revenue. The NFL and USFL shared the best high-end players, and the Big Ten and SEC share the best schools. There are similarities. It was an equal situation with different variables. Legends like Steve Young, Jim Kelly, Herschel Walker, and many others played in the USFL. And both the NFL and USFL at the time were an incomplete package. If combined, then the money would come pouring in, and that is exactly what happened. The NFL consumed the USFL because they had the edge financially. They were two sides of the same coin. And once the NFL gained the financial edge over the USFL, it was only a matter of time before they collapsed. The thing about history is that it tends to repeat itself. The only true difference between the NFL and USFL compared to the Big Ten and SEC is that the Big Ten and SEC decided to start working together because they have similar interests. If one of these two conferences fell, it would likely cause a rift between fan bases that they would likely feel the result of financially. Fan bases will rebel, which is bad for business, and these conferences know this. This is the start of where the future is headed. The issue with trying to survive as a group is that there could be no slight edge financially, or you will likely lose your top talent. Replace Jim Kelly and Steve Young with Georgia and Alabama. How long will they be okay with making less than Big Ten teams? Currently, the Big Ten is the richest conference. If the Big Ten pays its members more per year than the SEC or vice versa, how long until those teams jump ship to the richer conference? Will Ohio State be okay with making less than Alabama year after year if the SEC makes more? Would Alabama be content with making less than Ohio State year after year if the Big Ten makes more? Where is the money leading us? Let's ask ourselves the correct question. How would the TV networks in these two conferences make even more money? Because that's the end goal. The top 4 schools in viewership are Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, and Georgia in that order. These are the 4 schools that truly changed college football. These 4 drove armies to their TVs, which gave the Big Ten and SEC the power they needed to consume. They aren't alone, but they are the leaders of the pack. Television is a gift of God, and God will hold those who utilize his divine instrument accountable to him. Filio Farnsworth, the creator of the television, said that. Farnsworth could see the future through his TV screens, and it appears as if he was warning us. If Ohio State left to make more money, they would bring Michigan, and then the Big Ten would reach its demise. If Alabama left the SEC, Georgia would be on the same plane, the SEC would be the next Roman Empire. It just takes one of these 4 to switch sides, and that would be curtains for that other conference. The Big Ten and SEC are already working together, and they both would make even more money if the best talent was under one roof. This is what happened to the NFL and USFL, so why wouldn't we think it couldn't happen to college football? The beautiful part is that they do not need to wipe each other out to become richer. They just have to create 2 conferences under the same league. And it appears as if they might have already figured this out. As history has whispered to us, money is a path, and these companies are usually quite good at finding this path. In our opinion, whether it is next year or in 15 years, the talent will be under one roof because it makes too much sense.